Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Saturday the 8th. Getting ready for the BKFC fights as well as the UFC fights tonight. My wife's running off with some of her friends, which means I'll get to watch the fights in peace and not have to explain anything. Let me show you what I got going on here. There is the Franklin Mountains. Big old mature tree. Big old pine trees in the backyard. Another palm tree. I'm gonna have to. They took a beating this winter. So, anyways, what I'm gonna talk to you about is my wife has a couple of friends, and she asked me to talk to them. And ladies, when I say this, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but so many of you are so unrealistic about the world you live in that when someone's honest with you, you think they're picking at you. Let me show you another place. You just missed it. There was a big old bird right over there. So, anyways, so I'm gonna take you inside. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It'll be like 80 out here today. And another thing is, ladies, and this video, which I don't normally do, is mostly for you guys. You have to compete for the man that you want in your life. You can't just show up at the finish line and expect him to pick you if you haven't done any of the work. Why did I get married? I got married after over 300 dates and vetting my wife. Now, that may seem like it's unkind or unfair, but it's the truth. I have a lot to lose. It's more dangerous for a man to be married than it is for any woman. Let me show you what we got going on here. Bar over there, but I don't drink alcohol anymore. I think I have some boards that when we had the flood are popping up, so I'm trying to push them back down without, I can't remember who gave me the advice, but anyways, got some plants over here. So anyways, I'm going to sit down and just talk to you. Now, when I tell you this, I'm not picking at you, but so many of you ladies have been lied to, and rather than be realistic, you've wanted so much to believe in the lies that the guy you should be married to and having children with has been right here in front of your face. And here's what happened. Her two friends, I'm not sure if she'll get mad if I use their name, so we'll just say her two friends, both went on separate dates with separate guys. And one of them was at a place here called the Third Tavern, and this is a local hangout for that girl. And these girls are in their late 30s, so they're feeling that biological clock. It's not ticking anymore. It's pounding away. So, and they're both past the safety zone for having children. So they're kind of figuring, anyways, what happened was she took this guy to her haunt. And about midway through the date, he got up, paid the check, and left. And he won't return any of her calls and this and that. And I asked her to describe what happened on the date. And she said she was there and all of her friends were there. And a lot of guys were coming up and giving her hugs and kisses on the cheeks and stuff like that. And predominantly speaking, she's probably slept with a lot of those guys. Which is not me guessing. But now that she's done running the streets, she's ready to settle down. But a lot of ladies don't understand how much damage that does to them emotionally. And when you get to a place in your life as a man to where you have built yourself up and built up enough resources where you can not only take care of yourself, but to take care of a household, that's not the type of woman you want in your life. And now I'm going to segue back to what I did with my wife. My wife, I put her through the ringer, and I had to meet her mother. She had to talk to me about her father. I met her family. I vetted her. I had to make sure she could look out. And this may seem ridiculous, but after 300 and some odd dates, I had to make sure she knew how to cook and clean and take care of stuff. And on top of that, while she was working, the deal was in our prenup, you have to pay half the bills. If you don't want to work, that's fine. I'll pay all the bills. But if you decide you want to work and you don't want to be my wife, you want to be my partner, well, then you have to pay half. So that's why my wife hasn't worked for the last 3 months. And she's probably as happy as I've ever seen her. So I'll try to speak up. What I'm getting at is far too many women just believe that all they have to do is show up. I've left many a women at on the first date or on the second date or whatever just because they were their hoes. I don't want to be around a 304. I don't want a 304 on my arm. It makes me look, to be honest with you, makes me look fucking stupid. And I've worked too fucking hard and sacrificed too much to be able to afford the life I have and provide that life for my wife to be embarrassed because you couldn't keep your legs closed. That may seem rough. That may seem bad, but that's just the fucking way it is. If you want a good man, then it is what it is. The other lady is, I think she's 37, and she still works at a sports bar called Twin Peaks. If you don't know that, that's in El Paso. That's kind of like the Hooters of El Paso. So, and she's also, but she wants to settle down, and unfortunately for her, she has a kid. I think her daughter is like 9 years old. And no, neither one of them are athletic or stay in shape. They're chubby. They're kind of jaded because life isn't working out the way they wanted to. They're both waitresses, to be honest with you. Anyways, no, the first one, who almost said her name, she cuts hair. She's a hairstylist. And there's nothing wrong with that at all until you get to be my age. I'm 59. I stopped working when I was age 46. I don't have any worries about money or medical care. And those are the two biggest things for me. But after my first marriage, after I left, and I left my wife with over $2 million in assets for her just so I could get away from her. But anyways, all that to say this. Ladies, the guy you want, every girl wants. I'll say that again. The guy that you want, the guy that hasn't been standing here in front of you your whole life, the guy that you see, that you think you're qualified for, has every other girl in the room wanting to be in your place, even if you're out on a date with him. And if you're not willing to do what it takes to compete, then you don't qualify for that type of guy. My wife's not fat. My wife's not out of shape. My wife doesn't have a bad attitude. My wife doesn't talk shit to me. It was so hard to explain to those ladies that you don't qualify. And you have to tell them to their face, look, you're 5'2". Actually, you're 60 inches tall, and they claim they're like both 5'2". You're 60 inches tall, and you weigh almost 200 pounds. You do not qualify for the 6'2" guy like me. You do not qualify. I can't be like this walking around trying to hold your hand because I have to bend down to touch it. Anyways, will I go on a date? When I was dating, would I go on a date with her? Yeah. Would we fool around? Yeah. Would I take you serious? No. The thing is, that seems foreign to women because women are raised in what's called the princess syndrome. They're told all their lives, you're special, you're unique. And ladies, you're not special. You're not unique. You all have pretty much the same equipment, and you come in different shapes and sizes, just like the guys. I tell you again, ladies, the man you should have been married with has been standing in front of you. And the more partners you have as a woman, it makes harder for you to bond with the man that you want to be with. I know a lot of girls who, both of these girls at different times over the last 8 years, have told stories about the guy that they just can't get out of their head, the guy that made them feel a certain way. And anyways, even though he was a terrible human being and he treated her wrong, she still gets that little gleam in her eye when she's thinking about him. So I don't know what else to tell you. And again, I'm not picking at you, ladies. If you want to reinvent yourself, you have to move. If you do not think that other women will sabotage you to try to replace you, you're out of your mind. And fit and feminine. If you are not, the first thing, guys are I am very conscious about the way my wife looks. Now, I don't mess with her about it. And I'm talking vanity pounds. If she puts on 10 or 15 vanity pounds and is working them off, that's fine. But I don't want a woman I'm embarrassed to be with in public. And I'm going to give you some of the things that guys, I don't like it. And I'm a very successful man. Now, if you look like you took a magic pen and you drew your eyes on and they're up here, or your eyebrows are past the eye socket so far, that's just some ridiculous stuff. If you have bolts in your nose and pins and holes and stuff in your nose, and you have tattoos, and you're not feminine, you're one of the guys, and you're going to sleep with whoever you want, do not. You're overweight, you're out of shape, you got a fucking bad attitude. Do not be surprised when a guy like me won't even talk to you. And anyways, again, I hope that's not a harsh lesson, but you can't tell women the truth without them becoming offended. I went on over 300 dates to find my wife. I vetted my wife. I have a prenuptial agreement that includes when she's working and if she's not working, how we pay the bills. 6'2", and all the money I need for the rest of my life. My wife is now on my dental plan. She's on my insurance. She's understanding that she's being taken care of. I did not. Her money's her money. She has lots and lots of money. I don't need any of her money. But it is hard to make a woman understand that you have a limited window of opportunity. I'd say at maybe age 33, that window's just about completely closed. And if you're not already married and have a kid on the way by 33, you've missed the boat. You're out there living your best life. I guarantee you, when I go to parties with my mother-in-law, I think she'll be 77 this year. There's hundreds of people there, 150, 200, maybe sometimes 300 people, all family related. And what are you going to do, ladies? Are you going to put all your Coach bags around there and sit around and talk to them? All your purses and your dresses and your shoes and your jewelry. The older that my wife's friends get, the more desperate they seem to be. And I've been telling them this stuff. Like many of the women that I met in after when I was in the vetting process with my wife, they always, is there another one like you back there? and I would make my wife, I would tell my wife the things that I would tell her friends in front of my wife what I made her go through. She had to get a medical examination. We did a medical examination. We did a credit check in front of each other. I had to verify that you had enough money to take care of yourselves. You had to be willing to sign a prenuptial agreement. There had to be a cooling off period. There's just, and if she did, once she qualified, I told her, if we decide to get married, I will do this for you. I will buy you the car and house of your choice. She picked this house and she picked her car out, and I bought them for her. But other than that, she was still working. She was the director at the University Medical Center. Now, I'm not sure what she did, but it had something to do with the hospital's finances. But she didn't want to do it anymore. You know, at her age, she didn't want to get up and fight through traffic and fight her way home. And ladies, you would not believe how happy my wife is, just being my wife. Anyways, I hope that makes sense to you. And that guy, you know, the guy you couldn't be bothered with, you know, at 5 foot tall, and you're, 180 pounds, and that guy's been standing there watching you self-destruct for years. Don't be surprised if when you finally realize, oh shit, that guy really liked me. He would have really loved me, and we could have built a nice life. Don't be surprised if he doesn't want anything to do with you. It's why I support the men go their own way. All of those guys I talk to and interact with online, they've always got a story about getting screwed over, especially if they've been married. So it is what it is. Love you guys. Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can. And if you can't, you have to take care of yourselves, men and women, like a fort and a G-string. From West Texas, El Paso, I'm out of here. Bye-bye.